Good morning, everybody. First, let me thanks Dr. M.S. Gowda, the principal and the conference organizers for inviting me to give a very short speech. Your international conference. Actually, I'm going to discuss with you current issues and challenges for business education with a special emphasis on the digital era. And you can see the current issues. I highlighted some of these current issues, especially the business school must understand the local, regional, national, and international eco-environment and their frequent changes with technological progress. These are one of the main issues. If you do not consider technology, if you do not develop your business school in far with the technological progress, if you do not understand the surrounding environment, technological progress, you may be out from the business. Actually, another issue is actually the importance of ranking and accreditation and the related issues in the digital era. Today you can see the ranking is very important because the prestigiousness or maybe reputation of your university mainly depend on the university and the business school, mainly the ranking and the accreditation. Accreditation, as all of us know, that give the guarantee about the quality of education. Actually, another important current issues which business school is facing: can business school teach the craft of getting things done? We are very good in teaching management theory in our class, but the problem is, do we really good in teaching the art of managing in a business, not the theoretical part of it? So another one, the possible direction in business education in the innovative digital era, which direction it will the leading, which will move to which directions. Another important current issues is a revolution in management teaching and learning pedagogy in the digital era. Another important thing is underlining assumption about the business research in the digital era. That's a very important. What type of research the business school should conduct? Is it the fundamental research, or it's applied research, or is a mixture of the research? Another important issue is a revolution in knowledge creation by business schools in the digital era. Actually, we create knowledge, but how far we disseminate it, what is our impact for a society? That is another important issue. Actually, another issue is emerging electronic learning forums and platforms around the world. Then you can see that there are plenty of electronic learning forums and the platforms are emerging, and they are sometimes giving us some threaten. They are threatening the existing old MBA programs and maybe executive diplomas, PhD diplomas around the world. Another one, the barriers to progress for the changes in the digital area. So many barriers we are challenging ahead for us. These are some of these things I'm going to highlight here in my speech. Especially, I would like to discuss with you this ranking and the accreditation business and their importance. First, we will go to see the understanding the techno-eco environment, or maybe we call it the international eco-environment. Then you can see the major challenges and opportunities for business school in the digital era. Especially, this is the eco-environment. You can see data growing in volume and complexity. That means everything is today leading to the what we call the analytics era. You have to measure it, and you have to have indicators. And on the other hand, the globalization and regionalization happening. Then you can see the business school must spot the emerging research trend, and a lot of things are now becoming inter and multidisciplinary, in the data collection also, not the single discipline, but it is an inter and multidisciplinary research. They will come by the industry. And the difficulty of predicting the future, the midst of the constant changes, change is very fast. Sometimes business schools as a managers, as a deans, we don't understand which direction it will end. And the frontier and emerging new technologies, that is very important. You can see down the line in slides, you will see that, what are these frontier technologies, what are these emerging technologies, and how far our business schools are grabbing this, the frontier and emerging technologies for our day-to-day work. And you can see the business schools should understand doing more with the less. Today we have plenty of data. You got to know how to do more with the less. And the cyber threats and data privacy compliance and the free information, open science, open sources, and the completely the data availability, analytics era, and the knowing who to partner with and how. Then you can see that these are all things we should understand. That then you have a success to report. Then if I go to the the next slides, you can see the technological change and inequality through the ages. Then you can see the in ages, 1700, the century to maybe the 19th century, you can see that you don't see that much difference between us, developed and the emerging economies. Then you can see the after the age of steel, electricity, and heavy engineering, then during the age of oil and automobile and the mass production, this divide and widening the gap between the emerging and the developed countries. And age of ICT, you can see the very the widening the gap between these two the countries. And the industry 4 and 5, you can see that it's a further widening. Then you can see due to the technological progress, especially in the ICT era, inequality is widening between the developed and emerging economies in the business education. It's not only in education but in other area also. Then you can see the business school must know the importance of emerging and new frontier technologies. This is a further explanation of that one. Then you can see the frontier technologies are a group of new technologies that take advantage of digitization and connectivity, which enable them to combine to multiply their impact. Then you can see such famous 11 technologies are, I explain here. They are mainly AI, everybody knows, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Things, IoT, the big data, blockchain, 5G, 3D printing, robotics, drones, gene editing, the nanotechnology, and the solar PV. Then you can see this all frontier technologies will create an immense impact on management and business education around the world. Then you can see the market size of this, the estimate of the frontier technologies, the US dollar billion terms, 350 billion in 2018, but 2025, you can see 3.2 trillions. Then you can see USA, China, and European countries are leading this technology development and usage for business education. Countries in the Indian subcontinent, you can see where the India and other 6-7 countries in South Asia, then you can see all of us using these technologies in our classes. Sometimes maybe 3D printing is a very famous, IoT is a very famous, because now our business educations are moving more into the what we call the digital era. Then you can see possibility of using frontier technologies in business and education. You can see that the publications in artificial intelligence and the patents in the artificial intelligence and the IoT publications and the patent in 1996 to 2018. Then you can see the vast amount of literature is coming, publications, patents, and you can see according to the UNCTAD latest tech reports, all these indicators more than doubled during the last 4 years. Furthermore, further widening the technology gap between the developed and emerging economies. In larger countries, inside the country, this gap is obvious. So for example, in India, you can see you have world-class centers, IITs, IIMs, and at the same time, if you come to maybe the southern 3 states like the Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and maybe that type of states, you will see that some of the schools may be technologically very backward. I remember I visited some of these schools some time back. Then sometime maybe you don't have a reliable internet also. But if you go to the centers like IIM, IIT, ISBs, you find they are world-class universities. All the best technical brain and all the best management brains appeared there. They have very good selection methods, and as subcontinent people, we have to proud about that one. That centers we have to increase. And another one, the business school must know the life cycle of innovation and the importance of techno-entrepreneurship for survival and growth. Then you can see here that you have to know the discover. The business school must discover, uncover potential opportunities of all stakeholders and the protect, take the right risk with the IPR, intellectual property rights, and the commercialize it. That is the part where the business schools are not good that much, and the bring stronger brand to the market, and we should do it in a very fast manner. Most of the public sector business schools, they have a lot of issues regarding this commercialization aspects. They may be good in the generating new knowledge, but disseminating the industry, they may have issues. Then analytics matter for the business schools in the digital era. You can see that now we are in a measurement culture, and the business school must understand future depends on data-driven decisions taken via machines. The machines learnings and all these things are there. The research journey throughout the research life cycle must measurable. Indicators must be measurable. Make sure to keep available connected data and solutions for researchers, librarians, and university leaders in your schools. Then you can see this research cycle. You can research planning and discovery solutions, and the research evaluation and commercialization solutions. You can see what way would we do We plan a strategy, obtain funding, conduct research, publish findings, and promote output and assess the result. You can see everything now we have to be measured. If you don't know how to measure, then people say that you don't know it very well. If you can measure something, you know better it. Therefore, businesses who should understand whatever they do, it should have to have indicators and the measurement. And another important thing is, why do we need ranking in our universities and the businesses? Well, now the ranking everywhere, even the emerging economies also, we are also fighting for ranking as well as the accreditation. Then you can see the ranking help institutions to build global brand visibility, create a strategic partnership, and recruit international talents. Why universities should go for ranking? Yes, of course, ranking is a business involving cost. Everybody says the ranking has the business model, but it in all cost, but it benefits to all the stakeholders, and maturity matters in there. Most of the people, administrators in business schools and management schools, they were saying, who care ranking, we are the best, students are coming to us and they are getting jobs, and that's not the case. Should have to have the maturity by accept. Ranking authorities are actually outside people. They are not possibly coming, we are inviting them. They are coming and they are checking and say, this is your, whether you like or not, you have to accept. Then you have to correct the problems, shortcomings you have, and next time you should be able to improve your situations. Then you can see the ranking give so many things for a university. Why university should go for ranking? Proper organization management and forming a good business strategy, you need a ranking. If you are in a ranking business, if you want to rank a university, you do all these things, to create a brand and give it a visibility for your schools. With a ranking, your school got to know by others. For collaborations and partnership agreement with good international schools and companies, companies come and look if you're a rank or not. If you have good rank, even the other international schools like Harvard, MIT, Princeton, Yale, you name all these good places, Judge Business School in UK, they like to come and partner with if you have good ranking. International and local students, academics, and researchers tend to seek employment at institutions that are perceived to be prestigious in their field with high ranking. Then you can get a good students, especially international students, even good professors, good PhD holders from world-class universities, even the good researchers, they are willing to come and work with you. Then finally, you are getting more value out of this, attracting good talents, grade A people. Then other things, the benchmarking and analysis, detailed performance information across all core areas of university activity and the business school activity, and to allow comparison and benchmarking against other institutions, whether competitors or collaborators across regions, subjects, and other criteria. There's a very good for you to benchmark if you're going for a ranking, because you collect as much as indicators, measurements, and all the quantitative data. The ranking support institution in improving their capacity to collect comprehensive, high-quality data and information on institutional performance. Ranking also impact discussion about and collection of comparative data on both national and institutional level, and encourage the collection and publication of data to the public. That's a very important. Being a public university, your duty is to show all these things to the citizens. The ranking of a platform for universities around the world to celebrate their achievements across research, teaching, industry, interactions, and sustainability. Then you can see through ranking, you can build a global, what we call a global brand visibility, and create a strategic partnership and recruit international talents. That is enough for ranking. Ranking, then you'll see down the line what are the right ranking, and then you can see the influence of ranking systems on the university ecosystems. It will attract students and government and the funding agencies' attention, and the employers' attention, and the collaborators, and the ranking giver so many benefits, but it costs. Then we can see the ranking systems. Then the closer look at the 4 world leading ranking systems. Everybody knows Shanghai ranking, and started 2003, and the world university ranking. Then 2004 started, and the US News Global University ranking. Then 1983 started, and 2013 they expanded it, and you have a QS World University ranking. I think everybody knows the QS World ranking, and most of the South Asian business schools and universities are now going for it, and started 2004. Then you can see when it comes to ranking, the academic ranking of the world universities, indicators and corresponding weight. They are giving a 40% weight for a research output. Then the publications, R&D matters, the quality of the faculty, That also very important. And the quality of the education and the per capita performance. Then you can see the ranking giver this much weightage of this type of indicators. Then you can see the world university ranking, they are given, you can say citation 30%, research 30%, teaching 30%, industry income 2.5%, and the international outlook. Then you can see different ranking are given a different rate. In overall, you can see that, the group in ranking indicators, the indicators from the 5 ranking systems can be grouped into the 3 categories. You can see the research indicators, then you can see 15 indicators available regarding the research. They give the weightage for the research heavy. Thereafter, teaching indicators, you have 8 teaching indicators. You have industry and innovation indicators, 9. Then you can see highest number of indicators are research indicators. Then your business schools or your university, it's a public or private or it doesn't matter, should always focus on the R&D and the research and the innovations and their commercialization. Then if you very carefully see the different colors of this slide, then you will see what are the research indicators, what are the teaching indicators, what are the industry and innovation indicators. Sometimes you may have everything, but you never measure it. If you go for a ranking, they can start measuring it. Then you can see the other one, the publication impact. The publication matters. The people never ask from the professors what you teach. They ask, did you publish? Where do you publish? Then you can see how do these established prestigious places select their research areas and topics. Then you have the publication data here for 2021. Then you can see the Harvard University publications, over 2 lakhs. Then you can see almost their publication is equal to all the Arab speak countries publications. If you look at 2021 Arab, whole the 17 Arabic speak countries publication less than this number. Then Harvard alone produces more than that. Then you can see MIT publications number, and publications quality also matters. The most are industry funded and directly related to the existing problem in the industry. Whenever they do research, they get a research problem out of the industry, and thereafter they do research. Therefore, industry like to fund, and they have a very high impact for a society. It is a question of relevance rather than academic rigor and complexity, which badly seek by business discipline. High impact journals of, we always see the rank journal, ABSO, ABDC, Scopus, ISI, Q ranking, ERA, etc. Then you can see the publications matters. If you are in a business school, so university, then the publications matters. Normally we say publish or perish. Then you can see the rank in business is also like reading an elephant by various scientists from various ends. It is tricky, and conclusion should be drawn carefully because different ranking use the same figure to draw different conclusions. It's like an elephant game. Then you can say, by look at the elephants, the various sides, people can come to various conclusions. But elephant is we can say one data point. Then before you go for ranking, first study what your school has inside. And after that, select the right ranking systems. As there are plenty of ranking systems, now more ranking systems are coming. Then people will ask, which one is the best? But don't ask which one is the best. The first see inside what you have, and thereafter select the right ranking. Otherwise, you are going to lose. Then you will go to the another slides. What are the objectives of accreditation? Then you can see the goal of accreditation is to demonstrate the reliability of the result or the credibility of the certificate issued by the body. That means the accreditation guarantee quality of your training or quality of your certificates. In general, accreditation is an affirmation that a college provides quality of education that the general public has the right to expect and the educational community recognizes. There are 3 widely recognized accreditation bodies for business schools. As all of us know, the ACSP accreditation, which is mainly based on the USA, but they have regional offices now in South Asia also. Another one, the AMBA one, which is based on the UK. Another one, the EFMD one, the quality improvement system, we say in short term, WIQUIS systems. Then you can see that is mainly offered by the European Union. By getting these are not easy for business schools. They have to satisfy very many 360-degree conditions and qualifiers, and the cost. Sometimes maybe the cost is too much. Sometimes maybe emerging countries, business schools and universities cannot afford it. But whole schools of degree programs can be accredited. By keeping accreditation is another issue. You can get it, but you can't keep it because you have to have right people to keep it. Then Sometimes people are getting the institutional membership with a very low cost, but before you get the accreditation, you have to first get the institutional membership. Gradually, you have to move into that directions. But business schools, managers, leaders should understand accreditation also matters, not only the ranking. Then you have some Indian data regarding this the the ranking and accreditation, especially accreditation data here. Then you can see India has over 6,000 business schools, and possibly less than 10 are public sector business schools, and all others are private. But to serve a billion plus population, a vacuum exists to start many new business schools, but they should be like IIMs, not like the one which we see in, mushroom business schools everywhere. But India badly need a good IIMs, you may have, but not number maybe not sufficient. But you can see the Indian data, only 19 business schools from India is AACSB accredited. But you may have over 6,000, but only 9 is AACSB accredited. These are 19. This is, I think, 2022 data. Only 9 business schools are both AACSB and EMB accredited. Then you can see 19 drop to the 9. And only 2 business schools, that is IIM Calcutta and IIM Indo, are the AACSB, EMB, and EFMD accredited. That means we call it triple accredited. Whenever you see the job advertisement in other countries, they will ask, your DBA or your PhD should come from the triple accredited institutions. Otherwise, you can't apply for a job, Then that's the way the international job market is now moving. They are looking to get the best guys, cream of any country. We say the grade A people. I guess all Indian business schools dream one day to be with with at least the IITs, and the IIMS and the ISB standard, The best 2 business schools in India are the IIM Bangalore and Ahmedabad IIM, Then you can see what is the application rejection rate, another indicator of quality, By look at that one, people say that place is a good or bad, Then you can see the IIM application rejection rate. I saw that, the 99.98 rejection rate. That means if people can reject more applications, people say that place is good. Then critical questions, does all best Indian management brains captured by IIM we surely know the IITs captured the best technical brain in India. They have a very good screening systems. They have a set and examination methods, and the business schools also has to think about whether business school really captured the best Indian management brains or not. We have to transform them, and we have to craft them to do the practical management things. India is moving, especially the real India matters. Real India is a rural India where the majority of population is living. Then you can see another important challenge faced by the business schools. Can business school teach the craft of getting things done? No one doubt about the business schools are expert at teaching management theory. We are very good in theory building, theory process, but application side is the problem. But what about teaching real world basics? In short, can students be taught the execution part of the management in the practical world? How do you create a manager who can manage, expand, and start new businesses? That is the entrepreneurship part. Is it a teaching pedagogy cases, or coaching, local and international exposures, industry experience teachers, and finally many simulation-based software, etc. Nowadays, we are heavily using, case studies and, more experienced people, immersion, exposure trips, and simulations, and, we want to teach as much as practice rather than the management theory. There's no substitute for experience. Therefore, class can be substituted with old and more seasoned veterans, like volunteers, retired CEOs. Very many business schools now following that one. And into the classroom as mentors and coaches using semester project modules requiring implementing a strategic concept important to the class material. Our business schools overemphasizing research at the expense of practical experience in the classrooms. Are they preparing graduates in the usual way for careers in management? Then you can see still the many established businesses who welcome PhD, DBA candidate with a high-end publications. You take Harvard, in order to start a Harvard PhD, you have to have at least the 2 articles in a best, the well-recognized, so high-impact 2 journals. Otherwise, they don't take, even the DBA same, then MIT same, Even though we say that we need a more management-oriented, practical people to our schools, but it's still we are thinking in a traditional way, because publication matters rather than how to do the practical things. Business schools has to rethink about. That is why the business schools are moving to PhD to the DBA. with the DBA also following the still old formula. Then you can see the transformation in line with the change in eco environment is badly need to survive for all the business schools. As Charles Darwin said that you have to transform, otherwise you have to evolve, otherwise no survival. Many people find comfort in the durability of the universities from the 15th century. We are very comfortable, because we have very long history. We go to Oxford, Cambridge, they will say we were from 14th century, 18th century, 19th century, especially in public sector schools. So they are boasting it. Then you can see out of 66 institutions from the 50th century that still exist today, 62 are universities. Then you can see universities are how robust, they are how resilient, then again, I will read this one. Out of 66 institutions from the 15th century that still exist today, 62 are universities. Out of 67, 62 are universities, We started 15th century, we are still surviving. But that durability may provide false security without non-adaptations to the change in eco-environment and technology focus. Technology can today, you wipe out from the business. The business schools journey into the turbulent waters of the knowledge age will be going to be very difficult. Business schools in the developing and emerging part of the world may suffer more badly with this technology divide. As I show in a previous start slides, you can see how the technology divide, the widening the gap between the developed world business schools and management education and our management and the business education. When it comes to the USA, it says a business. When it comes to British, England or UK, they were saying there is a management. There's a difference between the business and the management. Especially international ranking and accreditation game also business schools in the developing or emerging part of the world may suffer more badly because unable to satisfy the required indicators and the complexity process and especially costing side of it. Most of the small countries, they can't afford it. Small business schools can't afford it. In some countries, I remember like Malaysia, the government is coming and paying it. Especially the challenges ahead for business schools, you can see the climate change and the responsibility of the business schools. How can we produce the right graduates who care about the environment, the overall environment, and the business ethics and the responsibility of the business schools who care about the ethics. Most of the time people are blaming to business schools because our business schools graduates are the guys who run the financial world, economic world. If we do not teach them right ethics at the start, at the training, they don't respect that one while they are practicing their professions. Therefore, business schools, you remember after the financial crisis, they change even curricula and they introduce more ethics-oriented subjects. There's another problem is increasing and unequal income distributions and the role of business schools. What is their impact for a society? Sometimes business school says that we are located in this, but they don't have any link with that industry in that area. Then the readiness for international ranking and accreditation of degree programs by business schools. Whether you like or not, in order to survive, in order to get international recognition, you should go for that, otherwise your graduates are suffering, international ranking and accreditation. It's a costly, it's a complex, you need a small indicator. Sometimes in some universities, they have a separate office and high-powered committees, senior management, ranking accreditation matters. And the real impact of business schools on the overall stakeholders in society, that also very important. What is your impact? And how can we create happiness in our business schools and the link into the productivity? Happiness and productivity has a very good correlation. People inside should be happy, then they are very smiley and very productive. And how can we find the solutions to students' lack of soft skills? All the business schools graduates are getting this criticism. They were saying you are very good in theory, collection, analysis, but when it comes to presentation, the negotiation and that type of things, now business schools are revisiting about their curriculum regarding embedding with this lack of soft skills issue. How can we give students more industry-oriented practical management experience? Everywhere, sometimes maybe even undergraduate level we do. We have a Friday exposure trips, we have a immersion, the programs, and we have a industry visit, and even the industry 6-7 months placement we have. Then we are just trying to train them to more into the practical management aspects. How can we keep industry exposed world-class business schools? Now the business school should be part of the industry. Industry should feel that, they are part of this business school. That is why we are taking as much as visiting lecturers, consultants. We are taking their problems to our classrooms and we are analyzing, sometimes we have modules, no examination, only interact with the business world. And how can we recruit and retain PhDs, DBAs, holding faculty members from the world-class best universities? As a deans, we may have this problem as head of the department. Mostly everybody like to take the Harvard, MIT, Princeton, Yale, Oxford, Cambridge, you name, all these graduates. But how do we get these grade A people? At least now we have to think about some of the schools may be ranked in our part of the world. Some are maybe accredited. We should try to get them and keep them. Keep them happy, and they generate output out of them. To make businesses sustainable and socially relevant, businesses who graduates have to demonstrate competence, leadership, character, and empathy for the needy. And how can we create an inclusive and sense of belonging for everybody in the classroom? Some students we already know, bigger classrooms, they find classroom is a nice place to sleep, then how can we get, everybody inclusive in the class and create everybody's sense of belonging for the class, especially when it comes to hybrid delivery. Nowadays we were doing online. We never know that person is in the lecture or not. They on the machines and they sometimes do some other work. In the years to come, everything can be in a hybrid, because then we can increase the number of students we are delivering also. Then you can see how can we promote relevant industry research by getting sponsorship from the industry. That we have to select our research problem from the industry, especially business schools. Fundamental part we can develop. But you get some of the countries, they say that they always say that we don't want literature review chapter. Why? Because this problem exists in the industry. Then we took this research problem from the industry, and thereafter we analyze and find the solutions for that one. That is enough. We don't want to go literature and try to find the research gap and try to find the research problem. And that was not the case. Business school has to think out of box. And then how can we more or less compare our business schools with the developed countries business schools? Everybody want to follow Harvard, MIT, and we like to say very many things. Then you can see these are some of the challenges, and all of you as a managers, as a deans, and I myself as a deans to the business schools, here in Sri Lanka, we were struggling to get the right people, keeping them, and get the right students, and especially postgraduate part, how do we introduce a more analytics oriented MBAs, and more technology savvy and the technology friendly environment within our schools, and especially to have a more links with the industry. Then I think some of these things I discuss, I guess I didn't get you more time, and thank you for inviting me to this one. And I think if you have any questions, comments, and then you can send. My emails are there, WhatsApps are there. And thank you for everybody for listening. If you have any questions, I would like to take it online.